Everybody can hear you. I can only see Tilla's camera, so I don't know if that's okay. Got me, great. Well, what a great day. Packed full of informed and thought-provoking presenters, not just from Scotland, but the wider UK and also international contributions. I'm Mike Strang, Chief Executive of Youth Scotland, but also a very happy member of the Policy Planning Group. When Kevin asked me to do some closing remarks today, I thought, yep, no problem. I'll just pick out a few key points from the day and do some thanks. But in reality, it's been quite challenging. All the inputs have been so good and it's been impossible to grab best bits, but I'll try and pull out some themes. I'm also looking forward to having a bit of time to reflect with colleagues and importantly think what's next. What are we going to do to champion young people's rights and our right to youth work? Because youth work is human rights work. So firstly, some thanks. A huge thanks to all the speakers and presenters for giving your time and engaging in the conversation. Congratulations to Ali for the various and well-deserved awards received for the important work that you're doing. Thank you to colleagues in the Policy Convention Planning Group and to Tim, Kevin and Amy and the team at YouthLink for making today possible. It's been almost a year in planning, literally, and a power of work behind the scenes to get us to this point. Thanks to Eddie for managing the tech, which I think is going really well. Susan, Liz, Hilary and Alice for managing the chat, the lobby, and all the other moving parts in the background. And thanks Tila for chairing the day. It's been really great to guide us through the myriad of discussions and conversations that we've been able to have. These policy conventions have been a bit of a journey, including youth justice, UNCRC, play, and other things, but also connecting in with other policy areas such as the Scottish Attainment Challenge, after school care, tackling poverty, inequality, and making sure we're at the heart of public health agenda. But most importantly, respecting and promoting rights, and that's a theme that unites them all. Thanks to you in the big virtual room. Thanks for taking the time today to get involved, be part of the conversation, and for championing children and young people's rights. But that's what youth workers do, isn't it? They turn up, they stand up, and they're a crucial, trusted adult in young people's lives. Nikki said that very well today when she said, young people have families or carers at home and teachers at school, but youth work offers a set of adults in their lives that they know care. That reminds me of something that Bruce said at the National Youth Work Conference on what rights mean to young people. Rights are help before you ask. And I've taken that away with me and I'll remember that one. I think it's really important. Or as Kieran said, it takes people who really care to come in and just do things. The numbers and variety of people and groups from local authority and voluntary youth work settings and those representing children and young people in other areas shows that there's an appetite for this discussion. I don't think ever before a rights-based approach has taken on such resonance across so many sectors. Youth work's role in advancing national outcomes across various policy areas, not least the implementation of UNCRC into Scots law, is clear for all to see. Importantly, how youth workers enable the change makers of tomorrow and build foundational skills alongside young people so they can take on what life throws at them and be the best that they can be. So I pulled a few examples from the chat today, which I think are pertinent. The first one is from Tim Frew. He said, when the young people from Chocolate Trust said, "My name is on the roof," it was incredibly moving. I then thought of the battle we had to get access to facilities during the COVID pandemic and the battle we still have to secure resources and investment, and it is vital to remember young people depend on our sector and we mustn't relent. And Tim's right, it shouldn't be a battle, it should be a right, because youth work is human rights work. We had a question for Bruce from Angus, who asked, as a youth work sector, is there things we can do to speed up the process and ensure incorporation? It's a great question because after today, we need to think about what we can actually do. What are we going to do together? Bruce's response was, I think the key thing is to keep the pressure on. The youth work sector was a large and powerful voice when we were campaigning for incorporation. It took years, but finally government listened and responded. I think we need to go back to that campaigning model, really challenge government to do more than just deliver warm words. We need transparency about discussions with UK government on the amendments to UNCRC bill. We need clear timelines, commitment to progress through reconsideration process, continued work to prepare for implementation, and a sense of urgency. So how do we close the gap between the potential and resourcing of youth work? How do we do more, including policymakers and government, if more young people, particularly those facing barriers to accessing youth work opportunities, are to take advantage of the transformative impact of youth work? I was watching the Menti cascade earlier when people were describing youth work, and some of the words that flowed through were essential, critical, underfunded, under-resourced, and fragile. All of that is true, but also vibrant, responsive, rights-based, supportive, life-changing and creative, and life-saving. Also recognition that youth work happens in a much wider context than education. Young people experience everything that not young people do, and youth work is there to hold their hand and equip them to navigate life, be it youth justice, public health, care, and in all different mediums, arts, outdoors, and communities detached, and many more. Some powerful examples today of arts as a medium, building that visual narrative for young people as a way of expressing themselves. So life-changing and life-saving, that can't be a lottery depending on where you live or what your background is. Young people should have a right to these things, to equity, to youth work, to trusted adults, and to safe spaces. I thought Dan's exploration of the link between YouthLink and our right to education was really interesting. No but, yes but, no but. So let's continue to advocate for young people's rights and youth work within that. So what's next? Dave from Hot Chocolate Trust today, in another really great session, reminded us not to start from a deficit position, which is so important. He also referenced young people saying we are the change, which is great to hear. So we'd invite you to be the change, fly the flag and continue to champion young people's rights, be part of the movement. So to close today, we have an offer from YouthLink. If you would like to get more involved, YouthLink will offer some policy training to help be rights champions. Following the convention, you'll receive a pack with the presentations from today and also how to access that training. But we have 3 final things for you to do. Firstly, get your phone, keep the Twitter storm going, and one final tweet from today, hashtag YouthLinkPolicyCon. 2 more Menti questions are about to follow. And as Tila said earlier, they're not just interesting, but they're really important as they give YouthLink some sector responses to represent your views in national discussions. And finally, hang on and watch the video. A video play at the end. It's only a few minutes long, and it might just inspire you to go on and start a movement of your own.